Hey y'all, I'm back and I feel like this is gonna be the best way for me to stream. I don't wanna be on camera. Y'all can see me on my handles and everything like that. I just don't wanna do it. And not that I don't necessarily wanna be on camera, I just don't wanna edit. I don't wanna do none of that shit. To be honest, I'm lazy. And I have the right to be. I work a full-time fucking job and then I have a small business and then I have a fucking annoying dog. And then I'm always trying to make shit. Like, I feel like I can't do it all. I can try, but I can't. And I'm okay with that. I'm going to just do me like this. I'm going to just shoot these little videos, press pause, press play, review them from that way. Basically, this is some guy who just came out of nowhere. Anton Bisky on my channel. I've never seen him. And this is what I feel like. As soon as I like someone, some shit comes out about that person. I'm like, damn, I just said I like Billy Carlson. I literally just said that in my other video. And I still like him, but then this has got me looking at him sideways. I seen a little bit of it last night, but I just want to come back and really review it. We ain't gonna watch the whole thing, obviously. But he got some good points, and then he got some points that sound like a hater. Like, you know, I didn't watch the whole thing. Like I said, I'm gonna go over it. But it's just like, what? Damn it, Billy. What are you doing? Some of this stuff seems a little fraudulent. I just put my stamp of approval on you. Do I have to take it back? That's what I want to know. Don't mind this little setup too that I got the TV in, because this is like a older thing. I got to paint over it and everything like that. But I really did this in my home with my dad, my stepdad. We took it apart because it was all closed off and I was going to throw it out. You know, when I bought this house, my mom gave me a whole bunch of stuff and I was really grateful for that. But I don't like clutter and I just didn't even need something like this. You know, I could mount the TV on the wall. That'll be, you know, the best thing for me. But then I got all this other stuff that, yeah, I do need to showcase, like my degree, my Walmart, you know, 5 years employee or whatever, or employee of the month shit. Yeah, you know, it's good to showcase that stuff. So I saved this thing. I broke it down. I broke out the glass. I'll send a picture of the thing. I'll put it up here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I just figured, you know, it'd be a good item to save. You know, these things are like classic and yeah, it's old school. And yeah, I'm kind of old school and I'm okay with that. You know, I recycled it and I'm using it for this, but it was totally different. You know, we had to basically build on it and take some stuff off and chop it up to make it look like this. But yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about this stuff today and going over this video because my mind is kind of blown and y'all don't come for me. At least I'm trying, and I'm doing this shit by myself, single. Yeah. All right, give me one moment. So this is the beginning. He's basically telling about what his bases are and why he's doing this. And he's got supported evidence. So he really brought the big guns out here. So let's see what he got to say. Okay?
Based on publicly available records, verified sources, and thorough research, I have made every effort to ensure that the information presented is accurate and supported by documented evidence. The purpose of this video is to inform and raise awareness about matters of public interest, not to defame or harm anyone. I encourage viewers to verify the information for themselves and approach these topics critically. The content herein is my opinion based on these records and does not constitute legal or professional advice. Before I get into this very deep dive that is going to open a lot of eyes, I just want to say, you know, I don't really want to do this video. I've spent a lot of intimate time with Billy and Elizabeth, his wife, and I've seen a really, really kind version of Billy. I know there's a very good person in there, but I just can't help but see the other side of him that other people don't really know about. This video is a little bit intense. It could have been 10x more intense, but I think I share what is necessary. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I encourage you to fact check everything I've said. I will say some of these records are harder to find, but you can find them if you search, and you might have to pay some money to get access to them, but they are there. So with that said, let's dive in to the video Billy Carlson does not want you to see. I've known Billy personally for over 10 years. I've been to his house, I've had dinner with his family, I've done business with him. He was also a client of mine for his social media, so I've helped push his grift, regrettably, and this man is not who he claims to be, allegedly. So, in this video, I'm going to be going into all of that, but before I do, why now? Why am I exposing this now? I've known this about Billy for 3 years, and in that time, I even went to his...
He said help push his grift. So, does that mean he was taking money from people? Because that's what I get, like grift. Like grift, you know, you come up with some scheme, and then people are paying you now. I don't know. What does that mean? Lying? I don't think it's just necessarily lying. I feel like you're scheming on people. So he was scheming with Billy?
New Year's party in 2022 going into 2023. I don't like people who mislead people. I don't like liars. And I had a personal thing with this all. And I'll give you that story now. When I first started getting closer with Billy during COVID, there was a bunch of drama that unfolded. And long story short, Billy Carlson, to my face, told me and my ex-girlfriend that he was 70 years old. I had no reason to suspect he was lying about his age. I mean, hey, he's got the alien technology, man. Maybe it's that, or maybe it's black don't crack. I don't know, but he sure didn't look 70. But I didn't really have a reason to question it.
70? I know he looked a little older, but he still looks young. It's like weird. Like, is he like an Anunnaki god that's just disguising himself and shit? And he's trying to expose the truth. Is that who Billy really is? No, I'm joking. But he is in between old and young looking. I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, he definitely is in between. And now that I'm looking at it, is this guy from like those hidden videos, you know, when they're like plastering the hair on the scalp and covering their face and they got like a whole new look because they're super old? Now I'm down the rabbit hole. I gotta see this.
I even Googled it, and I believe at the time it said that. It has since changed. Well, long story short, his now wife, who was just his girlfriend back then, heard that he told me that. He called me, and I was actually with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and the call started, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but it started something to this effect. Hey man, I'm here with Elizabeth. She's hearing rumors that you said that I said I was 70, and I just want to have that conversation with you because remember we had that conversation? I said I wasn't 70, and that was a lie generated by the internet, and it was going around. Now, I've been manipulated my entire life by people like Billy. I don't know what it is with me in getting around these people, but it's been a pattern of my life. And in this moment, every part of my being wanted to say, no, you did tell me you were 70, but because of Billy's power, because of his status, because of the unpreparedness, you know, I have every excuse in the book for why I lied like a coward. But I lied to his now wife. About 2 years later.
Damn, you lied to the wife. How can she trust you now? How can anyone trust you? I mean, I don't know. Lying is very difficult. Lying is very hard, I know, because it's not a simple lie. And his wife or girlfriend at the time, you know, well, maybe she didn't have to marry him. That could have helped her out. You know, that was a pretty serious situation. So, I don't know. It's hard. Can he be trusted? Maybe. But I want to hear him out completely because this is crazy.
Part of my being wanted to say, no, you did tell me you were 70, but because of Billy's power, because of his status, because of the unpreparedness, I have every excuse in the book for why I lied like a coward. But I lied to his now wife. About 2 years later, at the New Year's party I was at, his wife came up to me, and we were all drinking, and she brought that whole scenario up. And she was like, that was really weird, this and that. And I was like, yeah, rumors just generate around the internet. So I lied for him again, like a coward. And then I did it a third.
Damn, this is her way of trying to figure out what's what. Damn, is he hiding his birth certificate or was it a lie? I don't know. Pregnant pause.
Time. And the third time was with one of his biggest investors, Robert Grant. I think he's one of his biggest investors. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I would have to assume so. I met Robert outside of my connection with Billy. I met him through somebody else. And I run a social media agency that helps push a lot of these kind of new age spirituality type personas. I've done that. I've ran that business for almost 9 years. I've recently transitioned it because of some personal changes in my beliefs. And Robert Grant was a lead in my pipeline. When I had my meeting with Robert Grant, you create small talk with people to see how, to connect with them and whatever else. And one of the things I brought up is that Robert is close friends with Billy, and I know Billy, and I'm friends with Billy. And Robert goes, man, do you know how old that guy is? And I was just like, oh my God, he's lying to grown men about his age still. Billy has gone above and beyond to delete all of the Instagram lives that used to be on his page where he would say things like this. I cannot find them. He's deleted them. But I did find a couple comments. I'll just share one of them here with you, where clearly one of his followers heard the same exact thing. So check it out. Somebody says, "You're 64?" Question mark. I find this incredibly interesting. Just wait. I remember for sure I saw it on Google. Because when he told me, I couldn't believe him, so I looked it up. And I'm not the only one who found it on Google. Right here. Boom. According to Google, he's 64 years old. But it also got 4 likes. So there are multiple people on his own page that say these same things. So are we all just making something up, or did he actually spew this lie? The evidence is here, and he has deleted other posts where he would verbally say it. When this whole thing went down, it was a huge drama with him and his wife. So I'm sure he really tried to clean up that paper trail, if you will. And I was still able to find comments. It took a lot of digging, I won't lie, but it's right here.
Damn, how old is his wife? I know I will be pissed. Because you just lied, and then we have all these kids, and then it's like you're almost so old. That's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to take in, because really and truly, how old are those kids too? Imagine your kid is 5 years old and you got a 7-year-old dad. That stuff does matter, because it's selfish. You're not going to be in those child's life. And maybe it doesn't matter, you just want to create life, but I don't know. Child's going to feel like, oh, I need my dad when they're 16 years old and probably not going to be there, Maybe he's going to live to 100, who knows? If he's going this strong, maybe he'll live forever. I can't call it, but that's very crazy and very, very selfish if that is true.
See it for yourself. So, that's how my relationship with Billy kind of started. And I'm tired for lying for people like this. I don't want to make this video. I don't enjoy doing stuff like this. I believe this guy is not who he makes himself out to be. Of course, everything said in this video is my opinion backed by the facts that I could find online. I'm not here to attack Billy's character. I'm not here to make him seem like something he's not. I'm here to show you who he is based off the clues he's left. So, Why now? Why am I making this video now? Well, Billy's trying to sue me. And he's trying to sue me because I got him on a podcast with a real historian who debunked all his BS in terms of Christianity.
Is that maybe he wasn't crucified?
Yes, the debate freaking took place with Billy Carlson and Wesley Huff.
Yeah. Keep going. We can do a follow-up.
I really appreciate it, Billy. Thanks so much for interacting.
Billy talks about being emotionally stable, and when things go wrong, you gotta take care of business.
There's gonna be obstacles. I just had an obstacle thrown at me yesterday. Some crazy crap happened from somebody that I really thought was a close friend. I really honored this person and thought that they were actually a really, really close friend, to the point where I even invited this person to my own wedding, and I only had 14 people at my wedding. So that tells you how tight that circle is.
I wonder why your circle's so tight, Billy. Is it because you actually have no friends, or is it because you've changed your identity and people catch on to your grift after so many years, because it's pretty easy to catch on to?
And this person did some diabolical, backstabbing stuff just yesterday.
Diabolical backstabbing. Billy, please explain to me how getting somebody on an interview with you, which we told you about, is diabolical and backstabbing. You knew exactly what you were walking into, but you were probably too lazy to do your own research, because clearly you don't know how to do that. And you didn't look up who Wesley was. And because you came face to face with a real historian and linguist, the fraudulent documents you like to claim as truthful have nothing to stand on. And you didn't like that you got exposed. And because you got exposed for knowing nothing about Christianity, you freaked out. You freaked out so much that you were knocking at my client's door at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
Misled things, for sure. There's a lot of misconceptions. But, I didn't really follow him for that stuff. I don't know. I feel like the Anunnaki stuff seems pretty legit, or, I don't know, more truthful than everything else. But, obviously those are bits and pieces that they're putting together. No one knows the full story yet. People are just trying to figure out what's what. I was watching this guy the other day. He's talking about how our souls, go in and out on the soul plane and all this other things. I can't speak about that because I don't really know about that stuff. But he said we do have some control over our lives, because sometimes you feel like you're in a simulation and you kind of don't have any control. But he says we do have some control. And I don't know. It's crazy. And that's literally some of the stuff why I like Billy. But he is getting into some really hardcore stuff right now, and it seems bad because you're lying to your girlfriend that is now your wife, and it's like, that whole story could be true or could be false. So we need to get to the bottom of that. Where's the birth certificate, Like the birther issues, where's the birth certificate? We need to find that. Like, Billy, I know this looks bad, and you can fix it by showing us.
Knowing nothing about Christianity, you freaked out. You freaked out so much that you were knocking at my client's door at 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
Now I gotta handle that situation.
With legal papers, acting like you have the power to enforce some type of "you got served." You guys, this is the type of person Billy is. Like, he does have a brain injury, so maybe there is something like literally wrong with him. I don't know. But this is like crazy behavior. My client has kids. He has a family. You got this guy walking up at his house at 2:30 in the morning because of a debate that he posted. That, by the way, wasn't even that bad. I mean, it was bad because Billy doesn't know what he's talking about, but there wasn't like arguments, and Wesley was very kind, and he could have pushed way harder, and he didn't. So Billy, bro, was it diabolical, or is what you're doing diabolical?
But at the same time, my mind went right into solutions mode. What's the solution to this problem, and how can I do it? How can I take care of this situation?
The solution is the morning.
How can I take care of this situation, which I've already worked on last night while it happened?
No, you sure did, Billy. You sure did work on it the other night.
I didn't wait and think and sob and, oh my goodness, I can't believe this person backstabbed me like this, and why is this happening to me?
Backstabbed you? Please show me where the backstabbing occurred.
Yes, I processed the anger and the...
Billy, there's nothing to process. There's literally nothing to process. You agreed to an interview with Wesley. There was no bait and switch. You knew exactly what you were walking into. We told you we were going to talk about religion, but you don't know what you're talking about, and because you finally stepped foot in front of somebody who knows what they're talking about, you were exposed for who you really are. So, let's talk about Billy's credentials. I mean, he did go on Joe Rogan talking about how he got into all this stuff.
Next morning, and I told the teacher I have to go to the library inside the school, Rainbow Park, and I said I need to get all the encyclopedias on aerospace. And she gave me the encyclopedias on aerospace, and that's when I started researching from that exact moment.
Wow.
And I haven't stopped since.
So you were how old? 8?
7.
7 years old. Oh my God.
So he claims he was 7 with Joe, but with Wesley and Mark.
But since I was 6, I was studying aerospace.
No, could that be an honest mistake? Sure. But if you're going on Joe Rogan, I would really highly encourage you to have your stories and facts in order. So what are Billy's real credentials here? Claims.
I mean, to point that out is kind of irrelevant. I mean, maybe he remembered it was 6 or 8 years old. Like, damn. Okay.
And you studied at both Harvard and MIT?
Harvard was for ancient civilizations. I took a class and got a certificate in ancient civilizations. And at MIT, I took a class in applied neuroscience and got a certificate in applied neuroscience.
Okay, so he says he goes to Harvard. And when you hear these words originally, most people are like, oh yeah, like he graduated from Harvard. Billy Carlson did not graduate from Harvard. Billy Carlson did not graduate from MIT. Billy Carlson took a free class that any human being can take on ancient civilizations at Harvard and neuroscience at MIT. But he's gonna push that in your face like that's something you can't do. This is a recent comment. He tells his followers, nah, Google me. MIT Applied Neuroscience, Kane University, Quantum Physics, Harvard.
But my whole thing is, why does he have to sound like that when he's like doing Billy's voice? Does he have to like try to sound like Billy? Is this like a thing? Like you could see he's like kind of got some vendetta against Billy because he's like, nah, Google me, MIT. Like, first of all, you don't even talk like that. Talk in your regular voice. Like, I know you're appealing to other people, but that's a little weird.
For ancient civilizations in the class I'm teaching.
And, I mean, there's all these free classes and online stuff. I ain't take one yet. So, I mean, big up to him for doing that. I mean, so what? Brag about what you do. It's still college. I mean, all of it is just applied knowledge. However you see fit. And, you know, these schools that make you pay millions of dollars just to get in, like, it's all about reading books and just, you know, finding that information, you know, and then they give you a piece of paper that tells you you're accredited. But, you know, regardless of what, he still went out and did some kind of work. So once again, trying to figure out if this guy's a hater or he really has like valid reasons to come for Billy. Because the lying part, that's the only thing that I've seen so far. You know, you don't want to compromise your beliefs or your morals, then, you know, that's something you need to definitely figure out. And yeah, him going to the door, that was a little shady too, yeah. Going to the house, like, who are you, Billy? You ain't no tough guy. All right? That's weak.
Teaching here, I'll provide you all the sources. Y'all, listen up. You can literally go take these classes at Harvard yourself. This is nothing to be proud of. I mean, and by the way, this is all recently.
I mean, it's something to be proud of because I ain't did it. A lot of people ain't did it, and a lot of people don't know that exists. And I work for one of the universities where I could take a whole bunch of free classes and law and all this stuff. And I think about it, you know, I do, but I ain't there yet. So kudos to him.
So, clearly he's starting to realize people are catching on to his grift. This is not impressive. And why does his Harvard University credentials say he went to school for 3 years? He says he went for 3 years, but the course he says he took only takes 1 year. Did it take him 3 years to take a 1 year course? That's crazy if so. Or is he just trying to skew the perception of who he really is to continue his grift? That is a question I do not know how to answer. I'll let you decide. He forgot to mention the part where he was an actor.
Over dry the beard because that can create itching and irritation.
But Billy...
Not for nothing, he does look familiar in that video. I don't know why, but that looks real familiar.
Despite his quote-unquote education, he also claims he's a scientist.
You know, when I go a lot of places, I'm 6'4", a lot of people, you know, did you play basketball? You know, did you play football? What do you do for a living? I tell them, I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist, that's what I tell people. And you got, just to see the look on a lot of these people's faces when you first tell them that, they're like, huh? A scientist? Like, they're completely shocked. So like, this black guy just told me he's a scientist. You know, you can see it in their face.
Billy, my friend, science doesn't really care about your feelings, yet based off your own words, you like to base your research off what you feel it is.
If they ask me questions, I'll continue to try to educate them on what I believe or show them the way that I feel it is.
This is literally the definition of being emotional, which you claim you aren't. But based off your actions and how you do your research, you're clearly emotional. You have no idea what a real scientist is like. Let's talk about Billy's past. He also claims he's not a criminal, and you'll hear him say this a lot. He even made a video back in 2023 to debunk the allegations that certain people had started putting out about him, about that he spent time in jail, about that he was arrested.
Is it me, or does this guy look like that guy Ernesto? Like, they look like they could be twins because they're like young old men or old young looking men. These guys look just freaking alike, especially in that picture right there. Wow.
Arrested for identity theft and all these different things that he claimed are not true. He put a video out about it. Unfortunately, I can't find the video. The reason he probably deleted it is because he probably tried to debunk something that was actually true, and probably Elizabeth or somebody close to him was like, dude, you can't have this out here because this is a lie. So the video's gone. I found that very interesting. For somebody who prides themselves as being honest and transparent and, you know, a thought leader and all these different things. But when I looked into it, not only is Billy a criminal, but he lies to people about being a criminal. Let's take a look.
That's a bit. Yeah, 3 months. 3 months. That's a year. If you innocent, 3 months is a fucking year. That's a bit. I went on a trip with a friend of mine to Georgia a long time ago. We were kids, basically. And
A kid. You were 31 years old. This was in 2002.
So if he was 31 in 2002, then that means he's, what, 54 today? So then he's not 70? Or are we relating to that age that he says that he actually is when he went back to the first conversation and correcting the guy? Because now I'm a little confused, Anton. I'm a little confused. Is he 54 or is he 70? Because now you're going backwards.
Yeah, he had some marijuana in the back of his trunk. He had not even a lot. I mean, it was personal use. It was less than an ounce. It was in his speaker box. We get pulled over going into Georgia. So they pull us over and everything else. He forgets he has it in there. It's so old that it's dry rotted, I guess, you know. And they searched it. They found this dry rotted, bud in the back of the trunk.
So Billy, it wasn't marijuana. It was cocaine. That's a big difference. And unfortunately, somebody tried to wipe this clear of the internet, clearly, because it's very hard to find details on this. But I dug these details up over.
But I don't see no names. Wait, let me see. Oh, Billy Carlson. But I mean, how do we know that that's that Billy Carlson? I mean, it's just a piece of paper where a lot of it is cut off.
For 2 years ago. They've gotten harder since.
And it took us down to the local video.
In this video too of Billy talking, he looks much older. Like, when was this video taken with him and Dame Dash? The teeth in his mouth look fake. Like, he has dentures. He looks so different in his video. Like, is this like before? But look at his mouth. It looks so different.
So at the local police department, we call it the local jailhouse. And they kept us in there for 3 months waiting to go to trial. He had given the statement that this guy was just a friend of mine, a passenger in the car and everything else. People were begging me to get out of there just to go to prison. But it was a hell of an experience for me to be able to be around those people. I became like the leader in there, of course, dropping knowledge on people and getting people's minds right and everything else. And people, the hardest core criminals and stuff in there were like, hating to see me leave, literally tearing up when I got out of there. Obviously, they had to let me go because I didn't do it wrong.
3 months?
3 months. 3 months just to go.
Quarter.
That's what they do. It's a business. It's a business.
It almost feels like you just needed to experience every single thing for no reason, just so that you could relate to the rest of the world.
I already knew that. That's exactly what it was. I had been through that situation, which of course I was completely exonerated. I have no criminal record at all. Matter of fact, I just got my concealed weapons license, but I'm a Team USA basketball coach, so there's no record there. But being able to be around those people and experience them at that level and talk to them on the level that they were at and understand what they were going through, and then to be able to talk to them and take their mind to a whole other level. Some of those people looked me up when they got out of prison, got out of Miami, and we linked up again, and they were like, I did this, I changed my life here, I changed my life there, all from just me helping them find a way to look inside and elevate their consciousness. So it was a great. People will look back at that experience in their life and be like, I can't believe this happened to me, and cry about it and whine about it. I'm thankful for it.
Thankful for being arrested for doing something you had nothing to do with? False imprisonment? For 3 months? Who I'm suing? What we doing? Because this is crazy. Like, if you ain't got nothing to do with it, bro, you should have been out. Ain't no fucking politics like that. I mean, you ain't had no money, no lawyer, no nothing to get you out. That doesn't sound right.
Because it gave me another perspective of life that I probably would have never seen. And
I don't care what nobody says. Don't nobody want to be in jail. Even when they commit crimes, and then you didn't commit a crime, and then you just like, oh, I learned from this experience. It was great. No. Yeah, you're uplifted now and you're trying to tell a better side of the story, but be for real. I feel like that's kind of fake. Because say how you really felt in that moment, because there's no way that anybody wants to be locked up against their own will. People don't even want to be locked up and they did the crime. I don't know. It seemed kind of weird right here.
Gave me the ability to relate to people that have gone through that or been through that system on a level where I can directly talk to them. They understand. I know exactly what's happened, how they felt about it, and also I can give them a step-by-step process on how to elevate themselves and not even have to worry about forever going back. But that was a great experience, man.
Do you see what our greatest teacher?
Great experience. That sounds like some bullshit.
Teachers have to go through to teach.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's almost karmic. It's like you have to go through something. Even if you walk in a straight line, you still have to feel that diversity to see if you can face the challenge so people can learn from you.
They look alike. Ernesto just got a grayer beard, but when he be dyeing his beard, they look alike. And the pictures online ain't showing it justice. They look alike.
Now, I find this whole thing he's telling Dame Dash very interesting. I'm actually curious if this is where the idea of forbidden knowledge came from. The dude went to jail, and was apparently inspiring the criminals inside the jail. And apparently, after he got out of jail, people looked him up and told him about what they shared with him in jail inspired them. Now, I'm all for, inspiring people. I have a past too. Everyone's got a thing in their past. I have no problem with that. My problem is the lies. But I just can't help but wonder, is this where Billy got the inspiration for forbidden knowledge? Obviously, that's just my speculation, but that's very disingenuous because he probably told those people he had nothing to do with this crime and the cocaine and whatever else, but clearly, there was clearly something to do with it. Whether he took a plea or something else, I don't fully know. I cannot find those records. But something happened. This was a serious charge. I want to give Billy the benefit of the doubt here, but he didn't learn his lesson. And I know he didn't learn his lesson because this happened in 2002 with the cocaine. And oh, by the way, he says he was virtually a kid.
A kid. You were 31 years old. This was in 2002.
So to play this off like you were like 18 years old is just very disingenuous. And clearly you didn't learn your lesson because in December 2013, you got arrested for fraud. Here is Billy's court records that I pulled up from the Broward County website. On December 18th, 2013, the defendant, William Carlson, this was before he changed his name, was arrested for using a fictitious ID card in the name of Charles Rubin to fraudulently open a Chase checking account at Chase Bank. So, following the vehicle's center console, this is what was found. A Florida driver's license in the name of John Black Knight. Okay, so that's not Billy. An Amex Costco card found in the name of John B. Knight. I don't need to read all of it, you can see it right here, but he says, after waiving his Miranda rights, William Carlson admitted to opening the two Amex accounts, the American Eagle account, the Barclays account. He advised that he has never used the real identity information of another person to open the accounts. Further investigation revealed, in 2013, the defendant opened at least 6 credit accounts, 6, using Tony Bellamy's real social security number without his authorization. For each of the 6.
Oh wow, he diving deep. And I just realized he has the K for Carlson instead of the C. Billy. I can understand Billy, William, Will, Billy, Billy, Bill, Will, William, Willie. But Carlson, and then you doing identity theft? I don't know, that sounds a bit much.
Accounts established. Tony Bellamy's name, date of birth, phone numbers, address were not used. Each credit account had an account balance. The following names and dates of birth were used in addition to the social security. Wow. Long story short, I'm pretty sure he ended up going to the jail. Here he goes. I read defendant Miranda rights via card, which he waived and admitted that the license was fictitious. Defendant advised that
he looked like
purchased the
Nesto
license
right
off
there.
of the street in Miami.
He looked like Ernesto. I'm gonna bring that picture back up and do a side to side because they look like brothers.
This is 11 years ago. Not even. Yeah, it's literally like almost exactly 11 years ago. Defendant advised that his credit is bad and cannot open an account under his real name.
That's crazy to me because, alright, it's 2024 and he's supposed to be 54 years old and this was 11 years ago. So you mean to tell me at 43 years old he was out here committing these crimes, and you want us to believe that you're a freaking changed person. I understand the judicial system can believe that shit, but you ain't changing nothing. Like, you're how old, committing credit card fraud? Ain't no way. There's gotta come a time in your life where you say, I can't do this shit anymore. I just don't want to harm other people. And I guess some people take a lot longer, but that sounds crazy to me. That seems absurd.
Defendant signed consent form to search his vehicle, where I found another Florida driver's license in the name of John Black Knight. I also found a Florida Power light bill in the vehicle with the name Charles Rubin on it. Defendant advised that he printed out a bill on his computer and changed the name. Defendant also advised that in the past he changed his birth name from Billy Carlson to his current name. Carlson also changed his name. His real name is William Carlson. Why would someone have to change their name? Alias name, Carson Billy Camrick. Alias name, Carson William Tyrone. Charged for fraud. Here you go. Here's the arrest information.
What's the Camrick about?
And you know, I could go on and on. I don't need to be a freaking detective here. You can go download this stuff if you want, but you get the idea. This is Billy Carlson. This is forbidden knowledge. It's the same guy. And he makes a video that is now deleted, trying to say this isn't him. Yeah, you can look up all his records. Broward County, look it up. It's all there. I'll put some screenshots so you can check it out yourself.
Maybe I am missing information about Billy's charge that he talks about, because I came across something really interesting, and it is a post that he put out. I'll put it here, and he says, my new documentary will be on Amazon soon. Take a journey with me into the county jail for one night and the extensive process that I had to go through to get my case terminated. Okay, so he acknowledges there was a case, just like he said to Dame Dash. So it all adds up, right? What doesn't add up, based off what Billy says, is the nature of the case. From what I found, it's cocaine. From what he says, it's marijuana. And it seems like he was going to make a documentary about this. You know, this was all the way back in 2018. I went to go look up if the documentary came out, and it did not come out. It's still in pre-production. So, I don't know, maybe it never happened. You know, maybe this was a project he was working on and he dropped it for whatever reason. But I was actually kind of glad to see this post because, you know, this was 2018. When he made the video about is Billy a fraudster and did he really go to jail and all that other stuff that I showed earlier, that was like that was much later. You know, this was later in time. So this has clearly been on his radar, and I would just love some clarity. Like, I really would love to know the truth. Again, I don't want to paint somebody for something that's not true.
That is the dog in the back room, snoring and doing whatever. Usually disrupting something.
But based off Billy's words and what I could find on the internet, something does not add up. Like, did you actually do fraud? And if you did, no worries. Like, we all make mistakes, but why do you have to lie about it? Why do you have to try to cover it up? Why did you change your name? You know, these are questions that I just have to, I just personally want answers to, especially if you're a public figure who are guiding people in their business, in their spirituality, in their mindset. Like, one of the biggest things for all of this.
Yeah, I definitely feel like everyone has a past. I do. Majority of people do. But there comes a time when you gotta be like, I can't do this anymore. You know, doing shit in my 20s compared to doing shit in my 40s is a big difference. Like, I would never do that. Like, I think about all the pain and suffering, even like just stealing. Like, these corporations, fuck them, but like from people, they're working hard. Like, these small businesses making stuff, they're working hard. You can't just take their shit. Like, that's fucked up. You can't just do stuff like that. So, that's crazy.
Is transparency. Like, just like those Christian pastors, you know, they preach love, but then they rape children. It's like, I can't trust you with my spirituality. That's ridiculous. Why would I ever trust you with that? And I'm not saying Billy does that, but I am saying that, you know, if he has a fraudulent past, I'd love for him to just come clean about it so that we can just have clarity so we don't have to wonder. But based off what's on the Broward County website and other websites, like the documents I showed, there is something. There's clearly something. Unless this is all fraud and Billy's actually the one that his ID got stolen, I don't think so, based off everything that's there. I mean, he's gone to jail a few separate times, so there's something. But I found this super interesting because he was going to make a documentary about it. So, I mean, if you're...
Also, the camera's not leaning, it's just the way this house was built. And that's literally on a tilt, because I've been trying to, like, fix it, but yeah. It's just the way it is. That's leaned. And it's probably not, you know, straightened completely. No, that piece is resting on is. But, you know, I did do this little project in the house, and I am gonna show you guys that. But let me get back to this. I just want to, you know, say why this looks weird. It looks weird, but yeah, that is literally not the case right now. It is not leaning. It's the actual piece that it's sitting on and not the camera. Okay.
If you're committing to making a documentary about how your case was unlawful and terminated from his own words, that's significant. That matters. And I feel like if this is all true, he would have talked about it more. So, I don't know. It's just really, really interesting.
Billy Carlson also raised almost $48,000. This was in September 2017. It was for the island of Puerto Rico. There was Hurricane Miami, and Billy actually raised $47,814. Now, I am personally insanely skeptical about this. I'll show you why. I'm not drawing any conclusions, but I'm going to commentate on this and just show you why I think this is very fishy in a lot of ways. And this is not the first time he's done this. He's raised audience. He raises money through his platform all the time. For somebody who claims to be a multi-millionaire, why would they have to raise money for Hurricane Maria? Wouldn't they just, like, want to donate the money themselves? Why do they gotta use their followers? He also claims he's donated $12 million in his career. I'd love to see some receipts on that one, because you claim you always come with receipts.
Again, I always bring you guys the receipts. I always bring the receipts.
He's doing
Ooh, he being shady. Ooh, I love it.
right now. You know, he's raising money. I think that's a little bit more professional than some of this GoFundMe stuff. But this to me is super.
I had to turn on the light because it's getting a little dim in here. But you ain't gotta mind that.
super fishy. So pretty much what I'm going to be showing you is, again, he's raised almost $50,000. You would
tell me why. My friend just called me and was like, yo, they're exposing your boy. I think this is hilarious that I'm doing this video now. And he only does that to me because I was like, yo, you remind me of Billy Carlson, because they kind of like look alike, like they came from that same tribe. And they kind of have like that monotone way of talking. So it's so funny because I just went public telling everyone I love Billy Carlson on YouTube like 2 days ago. And now all this stuff is coming out. This is crazy. I'm trying to be like really neutral here, but damn, this done came on. Now my friend done called me. I'm just at a loss of words. I really am. Let me try to fix this real quick. I stay messing this thing up. I know, because I told you it's not leveled right. Alright.
Donate the money themselves? Why do they gotta use their followers? He also claims he's donated $12 million in his career. I'd love to see some receipts on that one, because you claim you always come with receipts.
Again, I always bring you guys the receipts. I always bring the receipts.
He's doing it right now. He's raising money. I think that's a little bit more professional than some of this GoFundMe stuff. But this to me is super, super fishy. So pretty much what I'm going to be showing you is, again, he's raised almost $50,000. You would expect so much supplies everywhere. And he does show supplies, and maybe there's some that he's just not showing, but I'm just skeptical of that, because if you have to show anything, wouldn't you show it all? Wouldn't there be literally semi-trucks filled with stuff?
We did launch the Hurricane Maria Disaster Relief Fund. The link is in my bio, as well on many other bios that I've already got on the council online. Please follow that link, because if you can't help financially, but you're local, you can actually bring goods directly to 2 different addresses that are already established, with cargo ships leaving out, taking supplies to the people in Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, Virgin Border, Dominica. Please, we need your help. These people are suffering significantly. 100% power loss. Puerto Rico powers the majority of those islands out there. So because they're down, everybody else is down, and they're talking about potentially 6 months. It could be even more to get electricity back. But there's people suffering, sick, in need of food, even just toilet paper. So please, find it in your heart, whatever you need. Help us, help these people, help me, help my family. They need us more than ever. All right.
I think it's really awesome what Billy's doing. I think it's amazing that he has a heart for this stuff. And I'm not even necessarily accusing him of...
Wow. I just want to fix this camera, but also my dog. Just know that she's in the background. Back.
Taking money from this, but just based off what he has shown publicly, something to me personally doesn't add up. I mean, I'll show you the evidence of what's here. I'm sure there's more, and maybe there's something I'm missing. I don't know for sure. Maybe there's more people involved. Maybe there was a lot of stuff that happened outside of the scenes. Maybe he is donating money and it's not just supplies. I don't know, but based off what he shows here, it seems to me he's just raising money for food, for water, for diapers, baby wipes. But if you read the GoFundMe and what he says in this video, he says that if you bring supplies, we'll donate it for you, which is awesome. Again, this is all amazing stuff. And he shows the supplies. So my question is, what is the donated supplies versus what did he buy? And clearly, it's not $47,000 worth of stuff. I mean, what he shows, there's just no way. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I overlooking into this? Are my lenses tainted? Maybe they are, but Billy has lied to me personally. He has told other lies based off what you'll see in this video. So could he be lying about this too? I don't really know. I hope he's not. I really hope he's not. I don't feel like Billy's that type of person, actually, based off my personal experience with him. Just because he lied to me about his age, that could be for some other reason that I don't know about. I think he lied about that because he wanted to sell his Anunnaki colloidal silver stuff. There's even a hashtag that says #alien blood that he used. So, it's a marketing thing. It's a little weird, but hey, it's harmless really in essence. But this, I don't know. I really want to be wrong about it. I really, really do. But what are your guys' thoughts?
I'm over here at the Cheesecake Factory with my man. How you doing, Miguel? What's up, Miguel, man? We just dropped off some supplies here. Hope you guys can see. Miguel, tell us people how we getting this stuff into Puerto Rico, man.
Well, different ways though. We have Fresh Point, they're helping us out. They have a plane goes out once a week to Puerto Rico, so they'll be, taking as much as they can. And then we also have some charter jets. The pilots are kind enough to load up whatever we can in their planes when the planes are empty to Puerto Rico as well. So with combination between the private jets plus Fresh Point, we get as much stuff up as possible down to Puerto Rico.
Hey, appreciate it, man. The people appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And we're gonna bring back some more goods.
All right,
Thanks,
good.
man.
Yes, thank you.
All right, cool. I'm at the back door of Cheesecake Factory, man. We're gonna be bringing back some more stuff. All right, so that was Miguel. He's the manager, and they got the charter flights. So I've been working all day, and we loaded up the whole warehouse back there. They have no more space. We loaded up a front office, a side office, and a back mop room with stuff. So now I'm sweating like a pig out here. Y'all got me
Is it
doing
me or
manual
his
labor,
teeth
but
got better?
It's all love, man.
So something suspicious about this clip is that he claims they loaded up, multiple rooms and whatnot, but where's the truck? Like where he has a car, but it's not a big truck. Like it's just a normal car. Like where did you take these supplies? Like where are the other people helping you? Like there's no way you unloaded, even let's say it wasn't, like obviously it wasn't the full 50 grand. Let's say it was even 10 grand. I mean, a pallet of water is like $500. So, like you loaded that into your car. I just have so many questions about this.
We don't need truck drivers because we're delivering stuff directly to the Cheesecake Factory in Puerto Rico. So what's happening is people are from in that area. There's thousands and thousands of people in that area. They just go right to the Cheesecake Factory. You know what I'm saying? To pick up the food and the goods and supplies. Today I did 10,000 baby wipes also, and a whole pallet of.
Okay, so he says 10,000 baby wipes. I don't know if he means 10,000 baby wipe packets because there's 60 per packet. So this is where I'm just like super skeptical, and maybe this is my taintedness, like just not believing a word this man says anymore.
But there has to be some reason that he's even breaking it down to a T like this, because why would you even think that the wording mattered so much unless you know that he's the type of person that does some shady shit, that does some sketchy shit? Because no one's just gonna think, oh, let me look back on a video from 5-6 years ago and compare what he was donating to see if he really donated. Because like, we need to know, what did he really do? He did something with you, or did you guys do it together? Because for you to have these kind of suspicions, it's not just a hunch. It's not just a coincidence, in my opinion. You know, this is broadly based on opinions, but regardless, it just doesn't make sense to me in my mind how one could come to the conclusion that someone is deceptive unless they've been doing deceptive tactics with that person specifically.
Or he's being slick. I don't know. Either way, let's run the math on both of them. Obviously, the numbers vary. Even if we give Billy some of the best case scenarios, the math just does not add up at all. Okay, so he specifically says 10,000 baby wipes. Going off of his words, so there is 12 packs that you can buy that come with 84 wipes. That means if he bought 12 packs, that would give him 8,008 wipes. So if you buy 10 sets at $35, that's gonna give you 10,000 baby wipes. Okay, $35 a set. So if you buy 10 sets at $35 a set, that's 10,000 baby wipes. That's only $350. If you wanted to buy 10,000 packs, which is not what Billy said, and I personally don't think it's what Billy meant. Because if you're buying 10,000 packs of baby wipes,
bingo. Personally, that's what he said, right? Go back.
Dude. Not believing a word this man says anymore. Or he's being slick. I don't know. Either way, let's run the math on both of them. obviously the numbers vary. Even if we give Billy some of the best case scenarios, the math just does not add up at all. Okay, so he specifically says 10,000 baby wipes. Going off of his words, so there is 12 packs that you can buy that come with, okay, dollars.
My bad. I just needed him to go back to that.
He's not talking about packs. He's talking about individual baby wipes. Even if there was 30 in a pack, this is still not that much money. You know, let's cut it in half. If there was 42 in a pack, he would have paid double the amount, which would have been $700. So it's still nowhere near.
And a whole pallet of diapers of various different sizes.
Okay, so then he says a whole pallet of diapers. You can buy a pallet of diapers for $1,500. Okay, let's even give him the benefit of that. Let's round it up, 2,000. That's still like, we're not even at $3,000 yet.
Because we had a lot of requests. They're the ones who made me get the baby wipes, basically because they have a lot of, obviously they have an actual restaurant in Puerto Rico, and when the flight came back a couple of weeks ago, they actually evacuated about 50 people, and the people they hadn't had a bath in a week almost, you know, so basically they were very smelly. When the flight attendants gave them baby wipes, people were crying just because of baby wipes, because they hadn't had a chance to even wipe themselves down at all. So that's why I got the 10,000 baby wipes today, along with everything else, man. Because you got to be made to feel like a human being at some point. You know, even if and we brought a lot of toilet paper as well, because they have no toilet paper.
Okay, toilet paper is super cheap.
Whatsoever. You know, so that's what's going on, man. So fortunately for the people here that work for the Cheesecake Factory, connected here to the United States, one is in Puerto Rico, they actually were able to eat a lot of the food that was left over at the actual restaurant. So that helped them out for the last few weeks, but that's kind of all run out now, because that was just for them and their families. But now everything that we've been bringing here is getting distributed directly to them, and then from there it's going out to people that need it, bypassing the port, bypassing all the hoopla and all the bull crap that everybody else is going through. So whatever we do here, whatever you guys have donated, is getting directly into people's hands.
But whatever you guys have donated is getting directly into people's hands. See what he said there? He didn't say the money you're donating, I'm purchasing products that get directly into people's hands, because he says it in another video, or it might be this video, where he gives people a physical address on the GoFundMe where they can just send supplies. I don't know.
And this is just one person that I have with private flight connections. I have another one that has private flight connections. A guy that actually owns his own plane and flies in there and takes supplies there to people as well.
We have access to 2 private jets through Cheesecake Factory, an additional 1 private jet. Something doesn't add up with this.
So I'll probably go live with him maybe on Monday and let you guys check, see what he's got to say. You know what I'm saying? So like I told you guys, man, I ain't playing. I'm getting this stuff to the people, man, right to their hands. There's no guesswork. There's no, I hope we can get the stuff from the port. None of that, man. Everybody, whatever you gave, whatever you donated is going directly to the people. It's getting directly to the people's hands, man. So share this information with everybody. I'm going to save this live. I'm going to upload.
One thing I want to add is that kudos. Most people never donate time, donate money, donate supplies. So I like that Billy has a heart for this. But I'm sorry, it just doesn't seem very transparent to me. And it's like, yeah, if you're making money off of this, it'd be pretty damn easy to be motivated. So I'm gonna go to another clip where he shows a lot more of his supplies, and this is what inspired me to even talk about this. This is when it gets weird.
I'm here with Miguel again.
So he's with Miguel again. And this interaction to me is really strange, personally.
Cheesecake Factory, we just dropped off a whole lot of order, trust me. And we got more, but we can't overrun them. So we'll be back with more every day, because they only have some of this space here. So we'll be back, but they're going to take what we got to Puerto Rico, man. We appreciate it.
Well, we think everything you guys are talking about, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
All right, have a good day. Appreciate everything.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so that was a weird interaction. And now Billy is showing photos of what is being donated, Okay, so photo 1, not even a whole pallet. Maybe it is, and they've unloaded some. Okay, I looked up what a pallet of water is. It can go as low as 400 and as high as 600. So, okay, that's nothing. Photo 2, another half pallet. Photo 3, not even a full pallet. Okay, more pallets. Okay, like, we're maybe at a couple thousand. Okay, he loaded a whole car with water. I don't know. Come on, 50 grand? Come on, bro. Where's the trucks? Look, this is, he says he fills a whole room. This is a little tiny storage room. Like, what is this? There's like 10 cases. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's 21 cases of water right there. A whole, look at this. A whole pallet of 78 cases, $480. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's double that. 78 cases for $1,000. Let's just, it would never be that. But let's even say it's that. And then we go back here. What is this? 12, 15 cases right here? Come on, bro. Okay, here's a. So he's sweating. He's working hard. Yeah.
Right now, and we're coming back for 2 more trips.
Coming back for 2 more trips. That's literally nothing. That's 3 pallets? 3 pallets.
Be a long afternoon for me, but it's all for those many people around the ring.
I'm very skeptical. Very skeptical.
We have the station fill up the toxic trucks.
Yeah, I like that he gives away, but
Transport that water directly
come on,
into town.
if you're making money from this is so low.
Cash rolls, my shop, that's my family out there, peace. All the people in St. Thomas, I love y'all. My family's out there in St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. Martin, my people are from. And I'm not gonna let them go out like that, you know what I mean? So this is what's up, guys. My son pull up now. There he goes in the SUV. Pulling up.
So his son pulls up in an
Sunday
SUV.
morning, we're gonna load up one. Then we're gonna come back for 2 more.
A truck full of water.
Man, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate love y'all. Give y'all help and support. If you want to send items, physical items, and you don't want to send money, then you can just simply go to the GoFundMe link.
This is where he talks about the physical address.
You can send the help to, the goods to. I'll pick them up from there on my own penny, my own dime, and take them and drop them off to get delivered. Our products are getting taken over on a private jet, and the private jet brings them directly into town, so there's no mystery that this stuff gets delivered. It's not sitting at the port like everybody else's stuff. Everybody else's stuff is sitting at the port. Our stuff is going directly to people that need the help. Alright, so we got the connection, we got the plug, we got the private jets, and we're making it happen. Alright, so this is what's up, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for all the positive comments. Stay strong, peace and love, and spread knowledge. Here's all that. Me and my son getting ready to go to work right now.
Cool that he's doing this. You got that connection, direct flight, all that stuff. That's great. But there's still something fishy to this to me. Okay, last one. Okay.
Hey guys, for Bitter Knowledge here.
Here he is with all his supplies.
I just want to show you these hurricane supplies. You guys can still need more.
Okay, so you got a pallet of diapers. We already looked that up.
I know it seems impossible that we need more, but we need more. Okay? We need more.
Pallet of water. We looked that up.
Need a lot more. Whatever way to get it to the people.
That's a real pallet right
The
there.
new drop-off is going to be at Sedano's, but I'm going to get the location for Sedano's. And if you have some more stuff in the beans.
Guys, even let's see the receipts for this. I would really love to see that $47,800 and whatever, $14, whatever it was.
Again, I always bring you guys the receipts. I always bring the receipts. I'd
love to see it.
If you have any doubt.
In case you have any doubt, why would he say that? Like, how is that even in your mind, dude? This is weird. He shows a box of beans. Like, what? Beans are so cheap.
But by probably next weekend, or probably this weekend, it's going to change to a different location. But we got to get more stuff. All right.
This really is
So I
not much
appreciate
stuff.
you guys, man. Gotta get more, alright?
I see less than 10 pallets of things there. That's crazy. And I know there's multiple, but he made 3 different videos about this.
Here's a clip of him picking up the first batch. You got Huggies diapers, it looks like. Is that Huggies? Yep, Huggies diapers. It's reversed, so I can't see. Either way, that right there, I don't know. That doesn't even look like $1,000 to me personally. I mean, how much is a case of water? $10, $15? I don't buy cases of water, but even let's say $30. Like, okay, you got a handful there, then Huggies diapers, we looked those up. There's really not a lot there. So again, something just seems a little interesting. Okay, so he now discloses what kind of vehicle he's using. He says that all that stuff right there is going to be tight in that vehicle. And then he says he has 2 or 3 more loads of this. So, okay, great. That's awesome. Again, this is all amazing stuff. I'm happy he's giving back. I'm just concerned, did he use all the money that he raised? I don't know. According to what's shown, I mean, 3 loads of that, even if it's $1,000 a load, which it's not, but let's say it was, it's probably like 500 if we're honest, probably even less. But let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. $1,000 a load, that's 3 loads, that's $3 grand.
And then I got a friend of mine who's gonna have a pickup truck also for me on Sunday. So we're loading up, guys, getting ready to move on out and make it happen. Baby diapers and water. 2 top priorities from what I understand right now. I appreciate you guys. Follow the link in the bio. And Raxy Rawls is working on another U-Haul truck to pick up a couple tons of goods that we got out there in Texas right now. He's gonna grab those and bring them over to the location. He'll be videotaping that when he gets done with that. But right now I'm gonna load these.
Okay, this is information to me. You had not mentioned that guy in any other videos. Okay, so maybe there is something I don't know. He says he has a U-Haul truck full of stuff. Is that a U-Haul truck that he bought supplies with? And like, if Billy's raising the money, why is somebody else buying the supplies? Or was that supplies donated? And he also says he's in Texas. Billy's is in Florida, and the drop-off stuff is in Florida. So, to me, it wouldn't make any sense to pay all this money to take a U-Haul truck from Texas to Florida. Like, something that just is weird to me. Why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you just buy the goods in Florida and bring them to the drop-off location? And again, like we gotta take his words for truth. I'm sure there's somebody else involved. I'm sure there's a U-Haul. But if you think about it logically, just in the gas money, why would you do all that? Like, it just seems a little weird. I also I'm also gonna look for this video to see if I can find it anywhere, and if I do, I'll share it. But
So I'm gonna skim through because this video is long as hell. And it's just in the last, 50 minutes of maybes. So, I'm 50-50 still because some stuff he's brought up right now is sketchy. Like, I'm happy that he's helping, yeah. But did he take the money? That is questionable. Did he lie about his age? That is questionable. But did he really donate this stuff? I guess that's good. And, maybe he doesn't know everything, but, he is insightful. He has brought things to the light that I guess I wouldn't, have seen regularly. But I don't know. I am on the fence. I don't want to be judgy. And then that phone call my friend had with me. He's like, they're exposing your boy. They're exposing your boy, huh? I was like, oh my God, why, Will? Why are you calling me right now? It's hilarious. Shout out to Will if you watch this video. But yeah, this is, I don't know. I need more. There's 2 more hours. So we haven't even gotten to the tip of the iceberg yet. So let's just skim through, see what's going on.
My forbidden stuff part-time.
Yeah.
And I knew that this is not going to cut it for me. And it got to the point that one day, it was actually the week that we had did the most in sales. I think it was like 150,000 that week.
Wow.
I walked in and I said, guys, you can have my percentage of the company.
Wow, you should totally walk.
I don't even want to sell it.
Holy
You
shit.
could just take I'm gone.
Wow.
And I turned around and I said, look, I love you guys, but I gotta go. I gotta be who I am,
Yes.
who I'm destined to be.
Yes.
I have to fulfill that.
Yeah.
And so I left and became, who I was destined to be. Who I told my third grade teacher I would be when I was in the third grade. She told me, you would never be on TV, you'd never be anything because you're poor.
Oh,
and I said, okay, I was shocked and I was embarrassed,
of course.
but I went and I found a way to do it and help people along the way. And that's important. And that's what you're doing. That's why this man is sitting here in my house. Because this man is literally out there. I've seen it with my own eyes. He's out here really changing lives, helping people start that transformation process.
Yeah.
And sometimes the hardest thing to do is to take that first step. And for you guys, the first step could be just joining this breathwork meditation.
It's literally free.
Yeah.
Like, there is no catch. He then goes on to say that he has $1 billion check in his wallet that he wrote to himself, and it's gonna be cashed, and it's like a manifesting thing. And then that's when you realize there is no limit. There is literally no limit other than the one you put in your head.
It's probably you said that. So I set myself a goal and I wrote myself a check for $1 million, right?
Wow.
And so that was years ago. And so I achieved $1 million within the amount of time that I allotted for myself. And then I wrote myself a check for $20 million.
Wow.
And I actually went live on Instagram. This was a few years, I think it was 2017, when I was in Greece at the time. And a company called me on a deal I was trying to transact and offered me the $20 million. I did it live.
Holy shit.
It's on Instagram.
What was the transaction? I'm curious.
Well, it's a company that wanted to invest in my tech company because I had invented a battery, that AGM battery that can extend the life. The normal life is about 3 days in a small house. I extended it to a full week. And then I also added trickle charging from a solar panel. This is for
Wait, Billy's an inventor? I didn't know that. I did not know that. I'm gonna have to look into that too.
third world countries. I got $20 million. All right, long story short. So
That's a good check.
Yeah, it's a good check.
Wow.
And then
Beautiful.
after that happened, I said, what's my next one I'm gonna write, And so I was gonna I started writing it actually, 100 million. And I said, no, 1 billion. So I have a check right now. It's in my wallet. I'll show it to you before you leave. I have a check in my wallet right now for 1 billion. Some of you have seen it. We showed it to you before. It's for $1 billion. And it's got to be cashed on or before October of 2026. That's the deadline for the 1 billion. And so we have to push ourselves.
That's soon.
Yeah, it's very soon.
$1 billion is a lot.
Yeah. We have to push ourselves because if we don't do that, we can become stagnant.
Totally.
And I know the power that I wield.
Yeah.
Some people don't know the true power that's in them yet. They're still trying to figure it out. But I know my power.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
And he says, I'll show you before you leave. I never saw the check. Oh, now, I'm going to talk about Billy's, I would argue.
Forget the check. What about what he invented? I'm going to need you to pull that up.
Probably his most important grift. And that is to attack the figure of Jesus Christ. Now, you don't have to be a Christian. I personally am a Christian. I'm proud to be a Christian. I was not always a Christian. I spent 13 years of my life deeply involved in the occult, and I'm no longer a part of any of that stuff. And now I'm a Christian. And Billy was actually one of the people that inspired me to not be a Christian. Not directly, but indirectly through a lot of his content, because he talks very confidently and makes some very bold claims about the figure of Jesus, and a lot of people believe it.
This religion has got to come to an end because it's a farce. And I've been studying this Bible, doing book reports on the Bible since the age of 3 years old. And the Lord's my shepherd, I shall not. I give you all these prayers and verses off the top of my dome because I did them so many times.
Right.
And so, just doing that, it became a part of me and understanding like, okay, well, there's something here, but at the same time, because I studied it so well, I I recognized a lot of discrepancies that didn't make any sense to me before I came across the ancient tablets.
Right. Billy claims that he's been doing Bible reports since he was 3 years old.
And I've been studying this Bible, doing book reports on the Bible since the age of 3 years old.
First of all, most 3-year-olds can't even read, let alone do Bible reports. And for somebody who's been doing Bible reports since they're 3 years old, I would expect them to know the Bible a little bit better. But he really has no idea what he's talking about. So I'm just going to go through and look at these a little bit closely, because Billy claims Jesus traveled from Israel to Tibet. Okay, so I'm going to play a clip.
In your book, you talk about, in the Emerald Tablets, you talk about how the Emerald Tablets came 36,000 years before Jesus even walked the earth.
Yes.
And Jesus, when you talk about Jesus, he was a student of the Egyptian mysteries.
Yeah.
He learned reincarnation. He learned, what else? In India, right? In meditation.
In India, he learned the mystic arts. In Tibet, he learned Qigong and Reiki healing with the hands.
Yeah.
Confirmed by the Dalai Lama, by the way, in recent times.
I actually did see this episode, but honestly, I paid no attention to that part. I remember seeing this episode, but now this is like, oh, okay. I remember seeing this, but I thought nothing of that.
The information has been handed down and passed down from Dalai Lama to Dalai Lama. This was confirmed through also Robert Grant, who visited with the Dalai Lama, verified just a few years ago, not too long ago.
What is so insane to me is that, first of all, Jesus' lost years from the Bible start from the age of 12. So logistically, to get to Tibet from Jerusalem, you'd have to go through the Himalayas, you'd have to go through deserts, you'd have to go through mountain ranges, let alone knowing how to get there. This one's a stretch, bro. No historian will tell you this is true. Because just logistically, the travel is 3,000 plus miles on foot, and Jesus is a child. Come on, man. Alexander the Great didn't even really make it that far per se, and that was over, I think, 10 or 11 years of his journey. And he had resources at his disposal, like engineers and support. This guy wasn't traveling alone. So to think this little 12-year-old Jesus is hucking through the mountains and traveling 3,000 miles on foot there and back, come on, bro.
But I think that in this sense, right, if we're saying that Jesus is a child and he went through his stuff all by himself, or they're saying, not we, but they're saying, basically his teachings are Jesus was helped, his family or his bloodline, he had magic powers. So, I mean, realistically, if he had that stuff, couldn't he trek alone and get through that and make food on his own? If he could make water from wine? No?
Oh. So not only is it just absolutely insane to think that Jesus could ever do something like that, but also there's no connection in his teachings between Hinduism and Buddhism. I studied with Shaolin monks when I was young, so I got a really first-hand experience with the power of Buddhism and those teachings and those kind of Taoist type philosophies. But then when I got a little bit older, I studied with Indian and Hindu gurus. Literally, I sat with gurus, they put their hands on my head and initiated me into all types of Hinduist stuff, and I had profound experiences. I won't say I didn't, but what I learned is that, Buddhists and Hindus, their whole thing is dissolving suffering, unifying with God or Source or Brahman, and life is really about ending suffering, and they believe you do that through, there's a lot of methods, but one method is yoga, another method is meditation. There's a lot of ways to do that, and they have a whole system to do this, but I studied in those systems for over a decade of my life, so I'd say compared to the average person,
I have a much better understanding about Hinduism than somebody who's just like an everyday Christian. Now, I became a Christian, and I could say that not only is it highly unlikely that Jesus studied with these people, if he did, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he went to Tibet. Let's say he went to India. Let's say he learned the Egyptian mysteries. If he did, his teachings directly contradict them in every way. Like, literally in every way. The way of Christ is to really repent from your sins, to separate yourself from sin so you can move closer to God and the one true God. And also, Jesus never talks about getting rid of suffering per se. Jesus himself is a suffering God. Okay, so this is one of the biggest distinctions between Hinduism and Buddhism and Christianity, is that in Hinduism and Buddhism, you're trying to do things with your actions, with your thoughts, with your energy, with your consciousness to move more towards God. Like, you're trying to move up towards God. In Christianity, God actually came down to us and he showed us the way. And if we put our faith in him and we believe in him, through his grace, we're saved. We don't necessarily have to do anything besides repent and turn away from our own life. So it's a whole different philosophy. There's no talk of ending suffering. Like, Jesus himself suffered, and people believe he did that because he wanted to bond with us. He wanted to manifest himself into creation to relate with you and I and walk and live a humble human life, and then literally die and experience death and then overcome it, like, as a human. So he suffered. He got whipped, he got hated on, he got literally killed on a cross. So no Hindu god is doing stuff like that. Like, Buddha is not doing stuff like that. Like, sure, there's some similarities, but the similarities are generic. They're not specific in any way between the gods. So I just wanted to point that out because I studied this stuff extensively. There's just everything about Christianity and Hinduism and Buddhism are different. So if Jesus did learn from those gurus, he rejected their teachings clearly. Billy has gone on the biggest shows in the world, like Joe Rogan.
So, kind of seeing this stuff in real time, I definitely feel like Billy should definitely come up with where he gets this stuff from so he can be more legitimately, because it does seem like he doesn't know. He's just talking off the cusp, and that's fine if you believe, some things that people are telling you, because, we all get told something. That's how you find something out and believe it, right? But he still needs to know where this information's coming from. I get the information's ever changing and everything like that, and nothing is legit like that. Like, everything can be torn apart, everything can be broken down. I understand that, but then I also feel like some stuff can be legitimized and things can be verified in certain ways, but everything in religion cannot be verified in every single way. I know that for a fact. There's no way that can be. But him just not knowing to back it up and stuff like that is kind of crazy. Like, it's just like he made all these topics and all these videos, but it's like, where is this information coming from? So I get what this guy is saying. I completely get that. And you could believe him or not, but I feel like a lot of these people are talking about the same thing. So maybe he's just regurgitating everybody else's opinion or whatever, or everybody else's thoughts. But it's half and half. It's half and half, and it has to be, because there's just no way. There's just no way that you could certainly know what was there from, 20,000 years ago. We weren't there. A lot of the information is mixed up and all over the place. So.
And again, like, it's not true. So you're just quite literally spewing lies. And I don't really even know if Billy knows what he's doing is not true. Well, he does now after Wesley, but he has still gone on shows after this interview and spewed the same lies. Now, Could those shows have been filmed prior to the Wesley interview? Possibly. But I just don't know, you know? I really just don't know here, so what do you think?
Sure, but that was the original question. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, well, so I'm going off of what we've already talked about. So you said you explored the text. I don't deny that. But the evidence, by going off of what you have put forward in terms of the actual documentary evidence, is not just less than convincing in my respect, and I mean this with respect because I think you have done a lot of research. You've traveled to these places. I have too. Like, this is what I do as my career. But I'm not really getting indication because in history we go to the primary sources in their primary languages. And when Mark asked, okay, why do you deny the crucifixion? The sources you used were not primary.
We're still talking
and they
over and over again. There's so much more we can talk about here. We're wasting a lot of time. There's so much more. That's this amount.
Do you guys
so much stuff to talk about?
Do you think that
talk about it?
And this is when I felt like Billy wasn't interested in truth, and he just clearly was getting upset that he really had nothing to say to Wesley, and I think his frustration and maybe a bit of anger was catching up to him, and it kind of shows in this clip. He's kind of looking to Mark for help, and unfortunately Mark listened, and the rest of the interview, I mean, I only showed bits and pieces, but from here the interview kind of went south because Mark took Billy's side, and it wasn't really a proper debate in my opinion, and they were kind of ganging up on Wesley, and then his internet connection broke a few times, but it didn't it doesn't even matter really, because if you know, at least for me, the pattern I've noticed in Billy is that, like I said earlier, when he talks, he stacks things. He'll say like 3 or 4 or 5 different facts, which in this case, all of them were not true. So he'll say like 3 things, and then you'll answer one of them, but then he'll try to go on to another topic, but you haven't debunked all 3 things. Like he did earlier with trying to jump to the New Testament. He's doing that again. Like, Wesley is like trying to kind of correct him on the crucifixion, and Billy's like, you're bringing that up again, and he's getting all pissed, but it's like, yo, this is a pretty big deal, bro. Like, you are talking to a Christian. Like, our entire religion revolves around the death and resurrection of Jesus. So to deny that, like you have on the biggest shows in the world, like, I sound like a broken record saying this, but this is a huge deal, and he just wants to brush past it, and then he almost throws it on Wesley in a way, like, we're wasting time. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you're here to debate Christianity and back up your theories. It seemed like somebody was getting caught and they were just trying to move on because they were uncomfortable. Rightfully so, but it wasn't professional in my beliefs. And then you can kind of see Wesley's like, yeah, okay, dude, okay. It's kind of he's really sweet. Wesley, I think he could have went way harder. I think he was very nice. He was very kind and nice in this situation. I thought Forbidden Knowledge didn't dance around the bushes. Easy now? But I've seen some stuff. I have seen some stuff, and I've never talked about it publicly, but I eventually will. So,
So this is what I'm saying. This is what I literally said in the beginning of this video. I feel like the moment I post something about Billy Carlson, this video shows up. It's taking me forever to make this video because I work. I have a real life, and I'm always doing shit. And I really want to do this too, you know? It's just so draining, but I really want to do this. And this guy here, I said this in the beginning, like, what does he know? What is he not telling us? Because I feel like these attacks are Christianity based, you know? Not everyone believes in that. We believe in spirituality, souls, and all this other stuff, but like maybe all that other thing, people don't necessarily believe. So however he's trying to describe it and say it, like, yeah, he don't know all the information, and I feel like, you know, even if he would have said elder blah 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 told me, and he's from this village in West Africa in such and such, or in Madrid, Spain, or the high chief in Canada. Like, so what? That's still passed down information. And if that's the person that everyone else looks up to and respects, that's a valid person as well. That's valid information as well. But he didn't have any of that. So that's very confusing. That's very confusing. But, I've been watching this 2-hour rant. I thought it was 3 hours, but it's 2. And he's just pointing out, like, Billy's a bad guy without, like, really saying the stuff. Like, him being arrested when he was younger, he might want to hide that because he's still trying to, like, process that. That's his thing to come out and deal with. And hopefully, he comes out and tells the truth about that. But other than, the stuff with the other guy he debated, I didn't even get to see that yet, because this literally popped up because I posted, I liked it, Billy Carlson. Like, what the hell? But I'm going to watch the debate and do a video on the debate as well so I can see more clearly. But I feel like this is just Christians, finding a way to attack non-believers in that stuff. Like, literally tearing this guy down. I'm not saying he doesn't have fraudulent things or saying stuff that he just whipping out from his ass. Definitely, like I said, he should have had something to back that up other than, some fake book or whatever that no one listens to, or that lady Karen King or whatever. Either way, he should have just, not even did that debate like that, because it's kind of like crazy that they're going at him with facts like that. Yeah, him talking about him being a scientist and stuff like that. In his mind, he could be whatever he want to be. But I think he should have definitely had a different approach to that. Like, here's these people calling him a fraud. That's kind of wrong. Like, he's done a lot to put a lot of information out there. So, and the stuff that he was donating, we really do want to dive deep into that and figure that out. And, he said that 12 million. I definitely want to know what's up with that 12 million. But these little, like, pieces and just for us to tune in so you can get your engagement, that's fine. But you need to tell us what the hell is going on so we could really know. And if he doing some real shady shit, call it out so we could do something about it and people could stop fucking with him. Because at the end of the day, it's just making you look like you just want engagement, you just want attention, and you're just giving bits and pieces to why whatever's happening is happening. Like, you have real beef with him, but you try to start this thing out like y'all was real cool and y'all don't have no issues, when you clearly have an issue, bro. There's clearly an issue, and you need to really say what's what. Because it's giving hater and coming off like, damn, you know it all, like, shit. Because he got his whole shit going, you want to tear him down for him believing what he wants to believe. Like, at the end of the day, he is getting this information from somewhere. Whether, some of it is false. Yeah, not everything is going to be 100%. None of this shit that we're knowing and learning is 100%, because it's always subject to change. The information is continuously changing. It's forever changing. So, I definitely wanted to say that about him. I'm trying to wrap up this damn video, for real.
I believe that this is a twofold thing, or multifold. You have the childhood stuff, questioning authority, not getting answers. You got the charismatic stuff, which doesn't represent Christians in the true light of the faith. You got the alien stuff, which, if you've ever had an encounter with aliens, or even a psychedelic experience with mushrooms or ayahuasca or DMT, you'll know usually the first thing to go is your theology. And then fourthly, the breaking up of the family. So there's a lot of reasons to hate Christians, because Christians doubt his alien theories, because the Bible tells us about this stuff. It tells us the devil will disguise himself as an angel of light, like aliens and light beings do. There's all these things that our faith protects us from going down rabbit holes like what Billy pushes. So, my conclusion is that Billy was either influenced by outside spiritual forces, and because he was influenced by outside spiritual forces, to add validity to his conspiracy theories, he has to do the very first thing that allows conspiracy theories to take hold: eliminate the divinity or the truth of Jesus Christ. Change the identity of Jesus. he's something else. He's related to the...
I'm just confused. Is Billy the only one talking about this, though? Billy is not the only person talking about this. So how does that even equate to that? Like, that don't even make no sense. Like, I am sick of Christianity's people, Christians, pushing that shit. Like, what? Like, not for nothing. You guys have to be the end all be all, and everybody else is wrong. Everyone is heretics. Everyone else is savages and all this other shit. Like, come on. Like, if you're really a loving Christian, you should say, oh, well, he'll chalk it up to God. I'm not going to sit here and make a whole, dissertation about it. Like, chalk it up to God. Forgive him. That's your friend. Forgive him. That's what you're taught. Like, you're sitting here acting like you're not going to get into heaven or something. And now he's just taking away from what you believe. If you believe that, then you believe that. But clearly you don't believe that. And you're going back and forth in your beliefs. And now you're trying to make it seem like he's making you think something different and all these other people. No, he's just speaking on a subject that's very much alive through different cultures. And majority of people want to learn this stuff. They're just afraid. So the very small few people that are talking about it and coming out and putting it to the masses and more people are listening, the Christians are afraid. That's just what I'm chalking this up to, period. End story. I don't give a fuck.
Ancient Egyptians. He's related to the Hindus. He learned from the monks in Tibet. Because as soon as you do this, you can start to in place new theories. If the Bible isn't true, and the figure of Jesus isn't true from the Bible, you can't trust it. It's not there. So, if Billy can wreck that for you, he now gives you his theories, which we now know they're not rooted in anything that can be backed by real historical or archaeological evidence. So, this is my conspiracy theory, is that Billy's entire body of work relies on Jesus not being who the Bible claims him to be, and to be some type of alien, Atlantean being. Because then now, once you change that base foundation, the sky's the limit. You can.
But how did Billy do that? Didn't the Bible do that? Because if you could turn water into wine and you could make all this stuff happen and things like that, then didn't the Bible make him some other alien contact, a higher being? Like, he's completely a higher being. So why couldn't that be plausible that higher beings did miracles and were doing stuff? Like, a lot of the stuff in the Bible is very confusing, and you're literally talking about something that you don't know either.
You can make pretty much anything up and people will believe it because they automatically don't trust the authority of the Bible. And I've been in enough cults and in the New Age and in the occult to tell you, Billy is not the only spiritual leader to do this. Every single one of the spiritual leaders.
And this is another thing. Calling him a spiritual leader, I have never considered him that. Like, not 1 second I consider any of y'all spiritual leaders for my spirituality. Like, that sounds fucking crazy. I believe in my own spirit, my own shit. Like, I believe in me. I listen to these people. I take it in. I take what I can. I go. I like a lot of these people. I like what they're saying. I like a lot of these other thoughts. I'm just confused to why I would think they're my spiritual leaders. Like, no one's giving that. And I don't think people are getting that from Billy.
I've ever worked with in this space do the exact same thing. Tony Robbins included. And he's like gentle with it, but he does it. And I've seen him do it. But Joe Dispenza, all these guys, they all do the same thing. They gotta strip away your beliefs about Jesus. Even Joe Dispenza talks about the Gnostic Gospels. So there's something here. I don't quite know what it is. I believe it has something to do with a darker demonic energy influencing people like Billy to peddle lies, to strip away the divinity of Jesus Christ. That's all this all comes back to. Because if you can do that, you can change a person's entire destiny, for sure. And I know that because I know what life is like without Jesus, because most of my life, I have been a believer of the New Age, of the occult, of ancient mysteries. I mean, this is stuff I've studied extensively, plus Hinduism, which is kind of mixed in with all this in a way. So that's my conspiracy theory. What do you guys think?
In a way, I feel sorry for him because he has been kept away from for me, one of the greatest things that's ever happened to my life. And like I've said, I've searched high and low for spiritual truths. And it really breaks my heart that somebody who's had such a bad experience is now taking so much time and energy to directly lead people away from Jesus Christ. It's really sad. And I was one of those people, and there's been a lot of...
So why not Jesus come back and lead his people then? I'm just so confused. Like, people can believe whatever they want to believe. If Jesus Christ wants us to follow him, or whoever to follow him, why doesn't he show that? Oh, because you have to believe. But I thought you had free will, so you're forcing people to come along, but you say they have free will. It doesn't make any sense. It's a contradiction. It fucking sucks. And I want people to realize that. Whether you believe, you can believe, or whatnot. Like, yeah, he was a person. He did good things. Awesome. He died for our sins, but then he's coming back. But then we're still sinning. And we're still suffering because that's what we're supposed to do. So what was the purpose of him dying for our sins? All of that is confusing. And I feel like no matter who can explain it, unless God himself explains it to me, I don't care about whatever you guys are talking about. I really don't.
People that have reached out to me and told me the same exact thing about Billy Carlson. And I feel a lot of these people just have had a poor experience with religion. And because of that, they have turned to people like Billy Carlson who are just peddling purely fraudulent lies on multiple different levels. So I want to remind everybody, religion killed Jesus Christ. And that's a whole other thing, but it's just sad to me because Billy, you can do what you're doing. Just leave Jesus out of it, bro, because you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to him.
And it lets you know that this person, this entity, really did exist in the physical form. It wasn't just some kind of thought thing.
Because Jesus needs you to defend him. Like, stay out of it, Billy. Because Jesus needs you to defend him and shit. Like, what? Like, that sounds crazy. Like, why do you guys take it so fucking personal? Like, it doesn't have nothing to do with your salvation. Keep it pushing.
It wasn't good. No, it was real. This was a real person. For those of you who were wondering, this was a real person that existed with flesh and blood. He put on his pants one leg at a time, just like we did. Okay? Pretty interesting. Now, he was a virgin birth. How do we know about the time he spent in Egypt? Well, there's this book called The Gospel of the Holy 12. And I have these Gospels as well. They're very little known, hard to find gospel.
So in this clip, Billy references the Gospel of the Holy 12. There's so many things that are just wrong with this clip. First of all, he says this is hard to find. You can do this right now. Please, I encourage you to do this. Go to Amazon while you're listening to this video. Type in the Gospel of the Holy 12. You'll see it right there. You can buy it right now. Billy is trying to make it seem like this is a little known thing. Well, yeah, Billy, this is not a historical document. And it is a known fraudulent by historians. That's why it's not referenced. I don't know what it is about the figure of Jesus, but every religion acknowledges him, but every religion tries to strip away his truth. Why is there so much power in the name of Jesus Christ that from the beginning of time with the Gnostic Gospels, there have been societies that have tried to twist and tamper and manipulate the teachings of Jesus from the Bible? Why is that the case? Why is that not the case with Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad? Why is that the case with Jesus Christ? It's so freaking fascinating to me.
And that question is actually one of the things that brought me to Jesus Christ, personally.
But I'm confused, because I know I looked this up. The Epic of Gilgamesh and those stories were older than the Bible. So, and these flood stories have been older than the Bible. I'm just confused here, because I know I looked that up specifically. So again, how are these other cultures doing that?
I spent 13 years in the occult. Like, I know all about the ancient stuff. I've done it. And I have found Jesus of the Bible to be true.
After this interview with Wesley and Billy and Mark, Billy went on the Nick Cannon show and talked about how Mark went to his wedding and how Mark is also a Christian and how he loves everybody and how Mark's wife is a Muslim.
And this clip is gonna be kind of helping everyone listening to deconstruct the truth about Mark and Billy's relationship and the truth about who Mark is as a Christian. Now, Mark is the same person that hosted Billy and Wesley on his show, and Billy brings Mark up in this podcast with Nick.
Hold on, is this another Christian tearing another Christian down?
Friends right now in my neighborhood that are, one's a hardcore Christian who's married to a woman who's in Islam. Okay, oh, wow. He's white, she's black. Wow. And they were at my wedding. I only had a handful of people at my wedding. I got married in Bora Bora. Wow. They were there. Okay, they were there. And so I got people that I know, people that are atheists, people that are super spiritual, even beyond my level of spirituality, beliefs. You know what I mean? Like way out there. Yeah, and so I've got this culmination of people that I collaborate with and work with and see on a daily basis. Some of them watch my kid when I go out of town. Wow. And so I don't have any ill feeling towards anybody.
So I find this really weird. Again, I don't know if Billy is innocently lying, if he's purposely lying. I don't fully know. All I know is that Mark is not a Bible-pushing Christian, like at all. He's a very progressive Christian. I've known Mark for years, spent a lot of intimate time with him. Never once did he push the Gospels on me.
Not Christian on Christian warfare. Lord, step in now, Jesus. Save it, please.
I think what Billy's trying to do here, I've seen people do this before. They associate...
Oh. What happened? My bad. This crazy.
No. All I know is that Mark is not a Bible-pushing Christian, like at all. He's a very progressive Christian. I've known Mark for years, spent a lot of intimate time with him. Never once did he push the Gospels on me. I think what Billy's trying to do here, I've seen people do this before. They associate with people with quote-unquote different beliefs as them to position themselves in a certain way. I'll give you an example. Let's say I was a racist and I had this secret hate amongst black people, but I didn't want you to know that. So because I'm a public figure or I'm a rising public figure, I'm gonna associate myself with black people so that you won't ever question if I'm a racist. I believe, allegedly, this is what Billy's doing. The ancient tablets from Sumeria that Billy loves to reference these. Okay, so this is from big man Joe Rogan.
Stuff together, specifically talking about these ancient tablets, particularly what came out of ancient Sumer. Like, what's the conventional explanations when people tried to dismiss what they knew in ancient Sumer?
These people left behind such detailed records and information. It's a time capsule of information on stone tablets for us today to be able to decipher, break down, and understand, and that's what we're here to do now. But it's incredible work, and it takes a long time to do. And then you have to let this thing dry, and then it becomes stone. If people were supposed to be trying to worry about how they're going to get their next meal, shelter for the night, who has time to sit down and write these incredible works of art like the Epic of Gilgamesh, for example?
Billy claims to be an expert on ancient civilizations. Based off what he said in this clip, he's making it sound like the people that made these scribes were like hunter-gatherers. You guys, I'm just gonna show you some photos of ancient Sumeria,
And this was a pretty developed civilization. And they had devoted people, I forget their exact names, but there's literally devoted people to writing these scribes. They kept things like, history in these scribes, accountant records. This was people's jobs to transfer information to these tablets. The way Billy paints it to Joe is like they were like running away from aliens or something, and all this crazy stuff was happening, and they had to like scatter to like write these things down quickly. Like, that's literally not at all how it went.
Yeah. I think they really were writing down, and also they were transcribing information that was given to them by these quote-unquote gods with a lowercase g.
Here's what Google has to say. Sumerian scribes were highly educated members of the ancient Mesopotamian societies who were trained to read and write on various subjects. Just because something's written in an ancient language does not necessarily mean like people were like uneducated. Like, Billy, out of all people, should know this. Ancient civilizations, a lot of them are freaking incredible. And there is like...
Oh, where did he say they were uneducated? I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm thinking he's just saying they were instructed to write that stuff down, like, because they did it on pyramids and all this other stuff, like, of what they've seen, like very large beings holding lions that look like cats to us because they're so big, or to them.
Like, again, I'm not saying all of Billy's stuff's not true. I'm sure there's a ton of truth in what he says. Obviously not in the...
Yeah, because the ancient alien shit been say all this stuff too. Like, I don't know. Like, that's on the History Channel. Why y'all not going after the History Channel? Do they hate all people too, and religion and all this other shit?
With regard to Christianity, but I'm sure other areas of expertise, he talks about this stuff more in depth where there's probably some accuracy, but he should know that, like, just because a society was ancient, like, doesn't mean they weren't, like, established. These people had kings, like, and a whole full-blown society. It wasn't like hunter-gatherers like he's making it out to be. So I just thought that was really weird. And I'm not going to talk more about ancient civilizations because I don't really know much about them. I do know how to use Google and look at things quickly, like you should too, and do your own research, like Billy says you should.
Yeah, they may have been an advanced society, but I'm pretty sure people still had to, figure out how they were going to eat and preserve food. Like, they may not be hunter-gatherers, but I'm pretty sure they had to farm and all that other shit, so it wasn't, like, super easy.
Conclude. For everybody that has invested money into the Forbidden Knowledge company,
have you ever wanted to get involved in a multi-billion...
And that's a hell no. I ain't never want to do that, period.
Now the industry, look no further, it's right here, Forbidden Knowledge Incorporated. Become a partner with us? You can do that by investing and buying shares.
Are you kidding me? I ain't paying none of these people for none of this shit.
For the company.
I just want to look at this a little bit deeper because I find a couple question marks. So Billy's now running this new thing where you can invest, you can donate, on his website right here. An investment opportunity with Billy Carlson. Invest in Forbidden Knowledge TV, a profitable and rapidly growing stream education content on Apple TV, Roku, etc. He goes into the problem, the solution, you can read this all on your own. Now, I don't have an issue with any of this. My big issue is, where's the money going? I'm very, very curious about this because I just did a little bit of research and I found that his wife, Elizabeth Huckstra, also has a criminal background, criminal record. I'll put that here, check that out. She used to live in Detroit. I actually knew Elizabeth before I knew Billy.
Ooh, this getting spicy, but he only giving us tidbits. Like, you need to give us the real deal so we stop fucking with people, like, right now. Like, tell us. I don't support them in, monetary, but I ain't had to watch their shit no more. I can unsubscribe. It's easy as that. But I'm trying to figure out, what is he really trying to prove here?
What I find so interesting is that Elizabeth owns a company called Hans Flow LLC. When I dug a little bit deeper, I noticed that Billy's company, Orbit Knowledge, has been paying Elizabeth's company hundreds of thousands of dollars in consulting fees. That's a little interesting. Is it possible that they could be raising money from the public and funneling it back into their own company? Is that possible? So if Billy Carlson is so rich, his company is so profitable, he's donated $12 million, why does he have to keep raising money from his audience? Something just doesn't add up. This dude drives around in Rolls Royces.
Yeah, I don't like that. I hate when these rich people keep asking for money. That's one thing that just upsets me. That shit be pissing me off. Like, stop asking us for fucking money. Go do it your damn selves. Go build your own shit. The fuck?
But they're rented. He's admitted they're rented.
Wow.
I would have to guarantee his house is also rented. Allegedly. So what are your thoughts? I could go on and on. This video would be 10 hours long. But share with me in the comments. What do you think? Verify what I'm sharing with you here. Look up his records on the Broward County website. Like, there's a lot of ways to verify. Look at his old Instagram videos. Look at his old YouTube videos. It's all there. Even his recent stuff. Like, there's not.
Damn, he done came for his wife too. Like, what did she do? He didn't even explain what her charge was. Yo, he is messy as fuck. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. It took me, 3 days to finish watching this damn video. This is crazy. Wow, now I'm gonna have to edit this, and I'm not even gonna watch that debate video because I already know what it's about. I can't do it. Like, if you guys were friends, then you need to just hash it out and forgive that person because you're a Christian. That's what you believe. Like, all of this other stuff, like, if that's what he's pushing, it's because he's getting this information from somewhere. And regardless if, people like it or not, he has the right to believe something else. And if you don't fuck with somebody just because they believe something else, that's on you. That's completely on you. But coming for the wife and stuff like that, damn, like, why are you putting up her background? Like, what did she do? So you're basically saying they could be funneling money. Like, we need to see the proof. We definitely need to see the proof in that. Like, I'm not defending him by any means, but you're gonna have to have some stronger shit than that to be up here spreading their business like that. Like, damn. I don't like the fact that they be asking for money if they are so rich. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. There's some good valid points, but I want to wrap this shit up because honestly, it seems like a deeper rabbit hole that we're all going to have to dive into. There's all these videos talking about he's a fraud and this, that, and the third. So I think that some of the things he's saying, are valid, and then some of the things he's saying is not. Because even on, like, these other historian channels and everything, all this information's out there, and it's not, unheard of. So I think that's, neither here nor there. But we need to get down to the real fraud shit. You need to tell us what happened. Was you in it? That's why you kind of being, like, hush-hush about it. Because I feel like you know more than you're letting on. Even to, like, bring up her past to try to say, like, they're both scheming. You know something. You know what time it is. You was probably scheming with them. So you just trying to figure out a way for everyone else to come on board to your side. But either way, it seemed like y'all was both scheming and y'all just need to hash it out. Because this is kind of stupid. Because regardless of what, like, no one knows the full 100% truth. Nobody. It's just what you believe versus what he believes versus what this believes versus what that believes. Yeah. But on another note, about to take another vacate on another boat. I don't know what is going on with Jay-Z. I used to like him, but recently I haven't really been listening to, this rap and all this other stuff, I just haven't really been listening to a lot of it. I listen to it here and there if I'm with someone in the car. You know, I really started to really like rock and roll for the last few years. It's about love and it's about coming together, freeing your mind or fighting the system. Some kind of, you know, thing that I'm really into. And I was a big Jay-Z fan, but these allegations that are coming out, I don't know. It doesn't seem surprising, that's for sure. You know, I would hope that it's not true, but you know, these people don't move the way we move. They doing a whole bunch of different stuff. They're all linked up together, you know, they all got this money, so they stay together. And you know, for those young kids, I feel bad. They didn't ask to be here, but neither did those victims. And you know, parents shouldn't be committing crimes if you don't want your kids to find out that stuff. You know, that's very terrible. But Beyonce's eyes just look kind of gone. It's kind of crazy. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we believed and loved is just kind of out the door. Things aren't the same. You know, there's a lot of talk that these people are doing a lot of crazy things. And I watched Sloan Bella. I like her. I don't think she has been wrong in anything that I've seen so far, you know. I watched some of her older videos. I don't know, you know, really what's what with the, you know, talking to people. Yeah, you know, she says she has that ability. But, like, the facts that are coming out, some stuff that she says have just been coming out. Like, I don't know, you know, if she's really talking to the other side. That seems kind of dope, but scary at the same time, because someone can have that ability. That's amazing. You know, I think that, you know, a lot of the stuff she says could be true, because everything is about money. So all these conspiracies really just tie into one thing: money, power, respect. Literally, that's what majority of these things tie into, you know. It's about money, and it seems to be true. You guys cannot separate the money. That's the problem. It's like, oh, it's conspiracy this, is conspiracy that, this person's lying, that person's lying, it's all about money, but it's all about money. It's literally all about money. To the technologies that they give us, to the technologies that are out of date, to the way that we're living, they just, you know, milking this shit for money. So, with that being said, it all boils down to money. You either have it or you don't. And I think that we should be able to all have some of it. We all live here. We're all in this together. None of us asked to be here, not one of us. And then, you know, if you try to kill yourself, it's looked upon as a bad thing. And then also, you kind of have to face your life, because you have to come back here. I do believe, you know, in reincarnation. I do believe in past lives. I have things that I'm like, oh, wow, deja vu. Is that a coincidence? Whatever. I don't think any of it is a coincidence. So, you can't escape frequency. And we have to realize that everything cannot be about money. We came into this world without choice. So we are granted certain things that we just should be having. That's like our birthright. Housing, clothing, food. Everything else we could figure out. Bartering, trading, whatever, you know, but just because you make something or you come up with these ideas that are stolen, you get the right to patent it and make all the billions of dollars, even though it's natural resources or something that's from us that we all deserve, because we all pay in to the system. So everything is about money. Everything. Now, there's also a brand, Uniqlo and CPFM. So at first, online, glance, you're looking at a child that says people order our patties. And, you know, I like this SpongeBob collaboration with CPFM. I like CPFM a lot, but at first sight, it's like, what is that? What are you talking about? And, you know, I used to watch SpongeBob every day. I'm not a diehard SpongeBob fan, you know, and I wrote this little tweet on Twitter, and someone sent me the video of them talking about poop. People order our patties, P-O-O-P. A little video of what he did. That's fine, but, you know, looking first glance at this shirt, it's like no context. A little child, a young, looking like a brown child. People order our patties, you know, that you know what that stuff sometimes connotates to. So, you know, I was a little outraged, but, you know, I see that they kind of like switched around the marketing. The pictures I see now, they have just kind of taken the kids out of it, but show the back too, where it's not just the front and you don't know what's going on. So the back says Krusty Krab, home of the Krabby Patties, 831 bottom, beater link, bikini bottom. I don't know. Yeah. Even that, you know, cartoon was a bit suspect with some of the stuff in it, but whatever, you know. It's like advertising that on a kid, and you just like looking at that and you don't see anything behind it, you don't see no context. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? But, you know, they did add that to the back, but, you know, people are still not really gonna know what the hell Krusty Krab is if they've never watched SpongeBob or they've never even seen it. Still a little weird, but, you know, I'm gonna let them live. I'm not gonna be the only one outraged about it. I'm not gonna put my kid in that if I had a kid. But, you know, things have subliminal messaging. We know that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I just want to touch base on, you know, some conspiracy outfits, some fashionable info. See what y'all think about that. All right, well, hit me up. You know, Life and Sneakers. Follow me on the gram. Like and subscribe. You know, comment. Say you hate it. Whatever. Say I'm boring. Say I need to do other stuff. Whatever. You know, this is my page. This is my life, and I'm just sharing it because I want to. I don't think there's anything else wrong with that, especially since I'm a creator and I want to keep creating stuff. So here you go. See you soon.